So the first time we met, the first conversation that we had, of course with champagne in hands, was about hemorrhoids.
No, actually, no. Hi, hello, welcome to Baltic
Banter.
Where we talk about things
With
that
Gokul
are...
and Brigitte, one more.
Hi, hello, welcome to Baltic
Banter with Gokul
and Brigitte, where we talk about topics that are relevant to...
I've realized one thing, it'll never be perfect. So
it will never be perfect.
Just
also.
do it, move on.
And also people don't expect it to be like...
Exactly, they want authenticity.
Hi, hello, welcome to Baltic
Banter with Gokul
and Brigitte, where we talk about topics that are relevant to Baltic states
or all over the globe.
And things that are near and dear to our hearts.
Or not.
Or not. Today we're talking about the biggest drag show in Baltic states. Have you heard about it?
This was organized by Royce Rogers at Palladium in Riga.
Yeah.
It was massive.
It was massive, and also I took a part in it.
Of course, you have to plug that in. If you don't know, Brigitte, my dear friend right here, is an opera singer.
Yeah, by the way. And you are an influencer?
How dare you?
Excuse me? I am a content creator and media enthusiast.
This drag show, it's quite a big thing because in Baltic states, and in Latvia especially, the political situation is quite conservative. Have you noticed?
I mean, you know, the Baltic countries are still part of the European Union. Even that way, it's still a little bit towards the conservative side. It is making strides to become better and better, unlike some other countries, the US.
You were talking about Royce.
I was talking about Royce. So,
do you know him?
I have met Royce, and Roy is a very particular character. And in drag, he is, well, she is spectacular.
I don't actually know if she has a name. Because as Royce was speaking, he wanted to do this, to do this show because he is, sometimes he feels like he's the only person, only drag person, only one woman as a woman in Latvia. That's why the name of the show was
Pirmā sieviete,
Pirmā sieviete Latvijā.
Which is the first lady of Latvia.
Lady of Latvia.
And, well, there are a lot of drag queens in Latvia, as evidenced by the show, because a lot of them got their spotlights, a lot of them performed. But the oldest three trio, let's say, girl group of Latvian drag queens are...
Royce, Amuna Davis, or should I look at that camera? Amuna Davis.
And Francesca.
Oh, Francesca, yeah.
Because those three, they were a girl group, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Francesca and Royce, love them. What about Amuna, though?
So Amuna is a very polarized character in Latvian LGBTQ community or in media in general. She is a very famous drag queen and also famously a transphobe. Imagine
being a drag queen and also transphobic. What the hell is wrong with you?
That makes no sense to me.
What the hell is wrong with you?
And this beef, there seems to be evident beef between Royce and Amuna, which was evidenced in the beginning of the show, where there was a video of what was happening, because it wasn't Latvian, I understood half of it.
There was a video footage of some interview about drag queens in Latvia, and turns out that Amuna Davis was the first drag queen in Latvia, but actually Royce was. So Royce kind of lost his mind about the article that said like the first and the most famous drag queen in Latvia is Amuna Davis.
And that is why he literally smashed a laptop.
He smashed a laptop.
He smashed a laptop where the article was there on the show. Like it was there and it was a whole thing, and I was not privy to this information, and now I know.
How do you feel about Amuna?
See, Amuna is a really cool drag queen in art, like the way she does makeup, the way she dresses, love it, perfection. Her political views, on the other hand, I cannot stand by.
Well, I used to follow Amuna because his partner actually had a very bad car accident.
Oh, I didn't know about this.
Yes, Giannis. And so Giannis went through a lot of surgeries and everything, and he had to go through a lot of rehabilitation. So he had to learn how to speak, he had to learn how to walk.
And how do you know about all this?
Because I was following it.
Okay.
And also one of my friends was a doctor that did speech therapy with Giannis. And it was like all documented on Amuna Davis, or Davis as his name actually. He is a man, but as a drag
Queen.
Yeah, it's Amuna Davis.
It's giving he, she, we, they, them, non-binary, vegan, vegetarian.
So Davis was documenting Giannis's experience and what he's going through. And at the time, I found it to be, from the one side, it was very interesting to see what happens, you know, after a car accident, because it was like a major thing, you know, for his life.
Yeah, I mean, it's really traumatizing to not just the person who goes through it, but the person who has to be there to care for the person as well.
Yes, and Davis, he actually cared a lot. And you could see like it's such a huge thing for both of them.
Are they still together?
They are together. And also Giannis also does drag, by the way.
Okay. See, I feel like when we take drag queens into consideration, there's always some drama or the other, because I would say that if you put a bunch of drag queens in a room, there is definitely going to be some drama or something happening, because, I mean, if you've watched RuPaul's Drag Race, you know this very well, that you put a bunch of drag queens in a room, give them a few cocktails and drama.
But isn't it like a human thing? If you put a bunch of people in a room and make them compete, it doesn't matter if they are like drag queens, girls, boys.
I feel like drag queens are a bit more dramatic than I would say any other group of people.
Then what about pageants?
Okay, valid point.
And then-
Pageantry can be very savage.
And that's like mostly straight white women that are doing pageants, right?
Not always white though. I mean, probably in Latvia, yes, that makes sense. But depending on the country.
Just before the show, you showed me pageants in India.
Exactly. I literally showed you a pageant that was happening in my city with Indian girls, and you're like, straight white women,
My point was like that it doesn't matter if you're drag, if you're women,
If you're
men,
gay or whatever.
Straight. I think if you put a bunch of people in a room and
in a high pressure situation.
in a high pressure situation, and also compete, like they have to compete, then some drama is gonna happen. Speaking of drama, by the way, I was supposed to perform with the queer choir.
Okay, I've heard of the queer choir.
And it was on a poster also.
Okay.
But as you saw,
The queer choir did not perform.
That's suspicious.
they were supposed to perform, but the drama happened because of the competition. I don't know what actually happened, but I think there was some drama between the choir team or the conductor part, or I don't know, like the board of queer choir and Royce. So basically they had like some misunderstanding and everything, and like
At the end of the day, they did not perform.
At the end of the day, it doesn't f***ing matter, okay?
and it was like very last minute.
Hey, if I was right, they were supposed to back you up for your performance,
Yes.
right?
So I got a call like 2 hours before we should had a dress rehearsal, like the dress rehearsal with people in attendance, right? And they call me and they ask, "Are you willing to perform like alone?" And I was like, "What do you mean alone?" It's so much better to sing with the choir.
Of course, when you have a background of singers who are so passionate about the project, because
Yeah.
I think all of them were just very glad to be there. and they were just so happy to be part of such a history-making event.
Yeah, like that's the sad part, because a lot of the people that were singing in a choir, like singers, they really wanted to experience it, because I think this is a major thing in the Baltic, like the biggest show in a Baltic, a drag show in Baltic states, and you're not gonna perform.
Just
like,
because of some sort of like misunderstanding
and it
or
was
communication issues.
And it was so sad and stupid, and I saw a bunch of singers after the show, and they were coming up to me saying like, oh my God, I'm so sorry about the situation. I'm like, no, I am sorry. I got to perform, you didn't. But I was super happy that I was able to get my things together and to perform, because I was supposed to be actually down, but they put me on
a pedestal, quite
literally.
She was okay, so there was a lot of scaffolding on the stage, and she was literally at the top of the scaffolding, belting out operatic notes.
We decided to do it like just before the show. We didn't even have a rehearsal for it.
Of you standing on top?
We didn't even have a rehearsal for it. So, so the first...
Hey, at the end of the day, it looked fantastic, it sounded fantastic, and you did a great job.
I was so nervous though. I was nervous about like going up and going down. I wasn't nervous about like singing.
You were nervous about falling off the scaffolding.
I was just like, what if I fall off the... But actually it would be such a drag situation.
See, if that were to happen, the show would have been even more iconic.
True.
Opera star Brigitte falls off the scaffolding. Breaks a leg. RIGA Fashion Week is actually coming up next month.
Yeah, true.
We actually met at Fashion Week.
Yeah, me and Gok, we actually met in a Fashion Week. How did it happen? Like, I saw Nikki. We have a
mutual friend.
Mutual friend.
So we have a mutual friend, Nikki, who is from the UK, who for some reason is obsessed with Latvia.
Yeah.
And she visits every month. Like, she might as well just give her a residency at this point.
Yeah.
And she knew Brigitte. She knew me.
She knew me because I have quite a controversial Twitter account. Because first of all, I'm a feminist. Second of all, I'm an ally for LGBTQ plus community, and this is a conservative country, so that's quite controversial to have such a Twitter account. And I talk about, or Twitter or X or
whatever it's called now.
Whatever it's called right now.
Maybe it'll be called something else tomorrow, who knows?
I hope some gay person buys Twitter.
Actually, they released another app called Blue Sky or something to compete with Twitter.
Yes, I actually have it on my phone.
And then there's Threads. Like, why are there so many apps for everything?
I believe that it's interesting to have so many apps as social media, because I think everything is turning into a TikTok. Like Instagram has Reels, even Twitter or X or whatever, you can like scroll videos, and also YouTube Shorts or something. Everything has
YouTube Shorts, Insta Reels, TikToks, WhatsApp statuses, Snapchat statuses, everything's going on.
Everything is TikTok now. We met. We introduced ourselves, and I said, I'm an opera singer.
You did, and I said, prove it.
And I was like, oh, or whatever. I was like,
I can guarantee, oh God, Jesus. I can guarantee you the glass in my hand was shaking.
Yeah.
She would have broken it.
Yeah, and then afterwards, we had a hemorrhoid talk.
That conversation, unfortunately, I don't think is meant for a commercial view, so we're not gonna go deep into that.
I mean, talking about pain in the ass, let's go back to this drag show that we talked about. After the drag show, I decided to have a couple of cocktails. As you know, I did my job. You know, I deserve some cocktails.
And the after party was at Scarpus, so we
and
were
the
all
after
there.
party was in Scarpus, where I showed up at like 4 a.m. or something.
She showed up at 4 a.m. and
Everybody did, because we had an after party in Palladium, and then an after party in Scarpus.
Bus, club, another club, plane, next place, no sleep, no fear.
And I thought like, oh, I'm just gonna have a chill moment. I'm gonna have a mocktail. I'm gonna chill.
that never really goes according to plan, does it?
And also you were leaving.
I was leaving. I actually literally took my coat. I said, hey, Brigitte, I'm leaving, it's late. And I literally went out. And then I came back because, I don't know, something in my head said, you need to go back. I get there and people are giving Brigitte a mic, taking off her coat, and they're literally making her sing the song that she performed at Roy's event.
Yeah, I already did it once,
Yeah.
right? They asked me to sing it twice.
You sang the same song two
Yes,
times at
two
Scarpus live
Yes, live.
to a bunch of drunk people.
Yes, I was also drinking, like, and but I actually I watched video footage afterwards that you sent me. Of course, Gokul had to document everything.
As I do.
And I actually sounded great, so.
You
all
did,
good.
it was really good. I would like to tell you, so since you were performing, you don't know how the crowd was, right?
Yeah.
So I was actually standing in the balcony and this insane thing happened. There was a girl sitting right next to me who ended up puking all
What?
over the floor.
Because of me? Because of my singing? God.
This was before the performances.
Okay.
I don't know if you can classify that as a hate crime or homophobic, but she did puke on people. So let me explain. She was sitting on the balcony. There's a space.
On people?
On people.
From the balcony?
From the balcony.
Oh my God.
So she's
What?
sitting on the balcony. There's a smaller balcony right below it where a lot of like influencers, people who were invited, all these people were there. This girl sits here and she's hunched over. And I'm like, okay, I guess she's just, sitting there. And all of a sudden, it's dark and I hear squelching sounds.
Oh my God.
I hear squelching sounds. I look over and this girl pukes through the rails down onto the balcony.
Disgusting!
And the show didn't even start.
The show
yet.
didn't even start at this point. And there were people standing right below, but thankfully they were not right underneath her, but they were in the splash zone. So it did splash. And then the people started running in different directions, and I heard like a glass being tipped over, and I'm like, what the hell is happening? It's dark.
You know, Lady Gaga has had an album, Art Pop. So she did performances with a puke artist. Yes, actually, that's real. Look it up. So she was singing this song, Swine. And the song is about like disgusting man or something, like about disgusting things, basically. And so she hired a puke artist to puke on her.
Like actually puke on her,
Yes.
not like
Yes.
fake puke and all.
No, like actually puke. And but like before she
That is a dedication to craft I will never have, just so you know.
before she puked, so she took some substance that was like, I don't know what it actually was, some liquid of like neon color. So she was puking neon colors. That's why she's like a puke artist.
See, you're talking about colored puke, right? Taking you back to the whole incident. So I hear the sounds, I whip out my phone, I switch on the flashlight.
Yeah.
I look and I can literally see her puking, and I see what looks like blood around her.
No!
And I'm like, what is happening? But turns out it was just a red colored cocktail. So I was like, okay, thank God, it's not that serious. And then somebody just ended up going to get security, and they escorted her out even before the performance started.
We've been yapping for a while now. But I mean, you're gonna be hearing a lot from us.
You will definitely be hearing a lot from us.
I hope you tune in next time. you're gonna tune in. We're gonna talk about like some crazy topics.
Oh yeah, we have some really interesting topics lined up for you guys, and I can't wait to discuss them with you, with my dear friend Brigitte.
And my dear friend Gokul.
Make sure to leave a comment in the comment section about topics you'd like us to discuss.
And also drop a like, follow us everywhere you can, and stay tuned for the next episode.
Ciao.